Back, we know, of course, there will likely be an appeal in today's verdict, meaning the last several weeks in the courtroom are going to be under the microscope even further. So let's bring in our friend Tracy Pearson, attorney and legal analyst, up late with me live here on the Final Five. Back so soon, I see. I want to ask you first things first, Tracy, because I was trying to give a characterization of New York State courts and the judicial system there and the political slant, if there is one. The rest of New York State, as you know from spending time in upstate New York, it is a much different makeup than what we see in New York City. Am I correct in saying that?
You are correct in saying that. It's a little bit more mixed up there in the appellate court system, but they tend to go by the letter of the law.
Yeah. So as we saw this today, and I'll ask you the same question I asked Katie off the top, are you surprised that the prosecution was 34 for 34 here? Because I think a lot of people thought some might go one way, some might go the other.
I kept an open mind about it, but the more evidence that I heard, at the end of the day, this was a documents case. And at the beginning of all of this, I kept emphasizing that with on other networks, that this is a documents case, and you really can't get away from that. You can't get away from the signatures, the invoices, and there was testimony that was damning. We heard the jurors come back and want to ask some questions about hearing David Pecker's testimony again, wanting to, listen to that on headphones or speakers if they could. So I think that it's important for people to understand that it didn't result from only one kind of evidence. It was a mixture of evidence, and it was pretty evidence heavy.
The tagline of this case, I think more, and I think you and I used this last week, was reading the tea leaves. And when we heard those questions, and it looked like today, I think everybody was ready to go home today. And then suddenly we have a verdict. At that point, did that kind of give you the indication that that's what we were going to see here?
Yes, it definitely was not going to be a hung jury because they had a verdict, and they were wanting 30 extra minutes to fill out those verdict forms, which are detailed. And so that told me that there was going to probably be some guilty findings. I was surprised by the 34 only because I think, frankly, from my own personal opinion on this, we have been so starved for justice in these cases because they have been delayed and delayed and delayed, as you and Katie talked about. And so this, was finally going to happen, and it did. And, regardless of what your perspective is on it, the fact is that our justice system did work. And we are a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. And these jurors did the hard work.
In terms, I want to get just a political perspective from you on this one, because we've talked so much about the legalities of it, and we've seen the fundraising, which I don't think that's a big surprise, seeing it from both sides. Hillary Clinton apparently dropped a new mug collection today where it said she was right the whole time, or something to that. People are very cynical about politics in the legal system. I think when we look at what's happening at the Supreme Court right now, there are a lot of people on the left who are cynical about that. When you see what happened in New York City, a lot of people on the right are cynical of it. How do we get past that at this point? Or is it a matter of the radical middle leading the way and saying, hey, look, you're going to win some battles and you're going to lose some battles?
I think that there is a whole lot at stake in this election when we talk about all of the issues. It isn't just about Donald Trump. Yeah, he's a significant factor. It is about reproductive rights. It is about things that are going on, thousands of miles away in Gaza. So I think that what we have is a tight mixture of people that are going to decide this election. It's going to be younger people. Which way are they going to go? It's going to be, are folks going to come out for Donald Trump? Are they going to come out for President Biden? And I think that at the end of the day, I have always said that I thought that reproductive rights is going to lead the way. And I still think it is, because I think we are going to get past this hump. Right now, there's a whole lot of excitement and a whole lot of angst and a whole lot of upset. We're seeing it from elected representatives on Twitter. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to what every election these days always comes down to: women.
And I think what we saw play out locally around here, especially in Virginia last year with those legislative elections, where we had Governor Youngkin saying, hey, he was favoring a 15-week ban. A lot of voters came out and said, we didn't like that idea. There was no, it was not the winning proposition I think Republicans thought it would be. But we'll see. I mean, again, we are here in the month of May. We're still a couple of months away, so there's a lot to go. And we got debates coming up in a couple of weeks, Tracy. So, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you again, and I'm sure we're going to talk again very soon.
Thanks, Jim. It's always great to be here.
And the Final Five is back with our friend Reese Gorman after the break.